Hello, in this video I'm gonna show how to make sprite sheets and import them into Unity, so each time I press, player plays needs animation. Keep in mind that this is just a small part of a course that I just launched. It's about pixel art and you can get it on Udemy. It's 93% off using my referral link, or you can get it on Skillshare. Using my link, you'll get 2 months of premium membership and you can watch this and all the other courses available in Skillshare for free. Welcome to section 6, where I will add some lectures depending on your requests. And in this lecture, I will show how to properly export some sprites and animations and import them into Unity. So now I have 2 animations. The first one is the idle, and second one is attacking animation. So if you want to export only one frame, if you have only one frame, you go to File, Export, then select where you want to save, and file type. I always select PNG for images. Then you select which layers you want to export. I select only visible layers, since I don't want to export this background layer. I want it to be transparent. And then select which frames. In this case, it doesn't matter. All frames or selected frames if you have only one frame. And then just click export. And then you'll have a PNG file with your sprite. Alright, but what if you have an animation? Okay, here I have idle animation and attacking. I go to File, Export Sprite Sheet, and select again visible layers, all frames, or in this case I want to export this idle animation and attacking animation separately. Here I can select tags. Now, how to create those tags? This is my idle tag, and here I want to create a new tag. So I select all the frames and then right click and select new tag. I will call it attack and choose some color. And then click OK. Now, if I play this animation, it loops. Again, I go to Export Sprite Sheet. Now, keep in mind that when you're creating sprite sheet, your character have to stay at one place. You can look at the legs. Now, I can see that my character's legs are staying at one place, so he's not moving. And same thing here. Now I go to File, Export Sprite Sheet. Then you can select the sheet type. It can be vertical or horizontal, or the many others, but I prefer horizontal strip. Then select all visible layers, and I select idle tag, and select where I want to save. Again, I select file type PNG, and then just click export. I will do same thing for attacking animation. Select attack tag and then export. I will rename red guy dot attack and then export. So now I'm inside Unity and I have imported those two PNG files, I just selected and pasted in Unity scene. So I select my idle animation. Now, as you can see, I have all animations together. They're not separated. So let's fix that. I select this PNG file, go here, and select sprite mode. I select multiple since we have several sprites, and pixels per unit will be a bit less, like 25 units in my case. And then click apply. Now I can go to Sprite Editor and slice all those sprites. In my case, in Aseprite, my canvas size was 50 pixels, 50 by 37 pixels, and I will type that canvas size. Go to slice and select type. Grade by cell size. In my case, it was 50 by 37 and click slice. Now you can see I have all my sprites now separated. Then I click apply. Well, as you can see, now we have all the sprites separated. I will do the same thing for attacking animation. Go to Sprite Editor, slice, and click apply. Now I select my sprite and drag it to the scene. We can't see him in game mode because he's in wrong order. So I go to order in layer and put something high, something like 15, so we can see him. Now, as you can see, he's very blurry. And the reason is Unity uses some anti-aliasing. We have to turn it off when we're working with low resolution images, which is basically pixel art. So select your sprite sheets, go to filter mode, and select point no filter. This is very important when you're working with pixel art. And then also compression you can set to none because we don't need any compression. Then click apply. Now our sprite looks very sharp. Okay, but now we have only one sprite but not the animation. Now let's create the animation. To create animation, you go to Windows, Animation, and select Animation and Animator. Here I have my animation. Again, if you don't have it, go to Windows, Animation, and Animation. Now I select my player character and create new animation. I recommend you to create some file when you're working with animations. I will call it animations. Then I create new folder and I will name it player. Now in this folder we store all the animations, and inside this folder we store only players animations. So go to animation, create, then select animation and player folder. I will call this animation idle. And let's create also attacking animation. I will call it attack. Okay, then select idle animation. I will put my animation window here so I can select all the animations. Then I select all the sprites and put them here into idle animation. Then I select attack animation. Again, select all the animations and drag and drop them here. Okay, now I open my animation and then select idle. If you hit play, we can see that our animation is now playing. But since we have only 4 frames and Unity automatically plays 60 frames in 1 second, and we have only 4 frames, so it plays very fast. And I will type 4, so our 4 frames will play in 1 second. Now if I hit play, well, that's pretty nice. Okay, I will do the same thing for attacking animation. Select attack, and 60 is very fast. And I will put something like maybe 10. Okay, that's nice. Now, when we have all the animations we need, we can go to Animator. And if we select our player, we can see that in Animator, also if you don't have Animator, go to Windows, Animation, and Animator. We have all the animations that we previously created, that we have in our folder called Animations Player. So we have idle animation and attacking animation. Now this red line means that by default we are playing an idle animation, which is okay. But if you have another animation, you can just right click on it and set as a default state. But in our case, it's idle animation. Now when we hit play, our character always is in idle animation. So we need to make some transitions. So I click on my idle animation, right click, and make transition, and transition to attacking animation, and vice versa. So we need to go from attacking animation back to idle animation. Now, then we need some conditions, so game know when to go to another animation. To create these conditions, we have here some parameters. Here we can select any kind of parameters that we want to create. It can be boolean, integer, float, or trigger. In our case, I'm gonna use trigger. So when we set this trigger, our character plays attacking animation and goes back to idle. I will call it attack. And from idle animation, we go to attacking animation by clicking on that line and make some condition. So we set this attacking trigger. Now when we trigger this attacking, player goes to attacking animation. Okay, if you hit play, and when we click on attacking animation, he goes to attacking animation, but only when idle animation is completed. Now we don't want that. Click on this transition and turn off exit time, since we don't need it. And transition to duration I will set to 0. Now the reason is I want it to be very fast, so when we click we will not have any delay and we go straight to attacking animation, even if our idle animation is not completed. But from attacking animation, we don't want to go to idle instantly because we want to play attacking animation fully. So we will set has exit time to true, and exit time I will put to 1, and we don't need any transition. Now if we hit play, we can see that when we trigger, it plays attacking animation only once and then goes back to idle. Okay, but now we are controlling everything inside this inspector, and we want to do it inside our game. So for that we will need some script. I will again recommend to create new folder and call it scripts, and inside scripts I will create again new folder for our player, and here I create new C# script and call it just player script. Here we are inside our player script, and now first of all we need to reference our animator to our script. So I will type animator and call it again animator. Oops. Okay, like this. Then inside our start method I will get this component. So I type animator, which is our variable, and get component type of animator. So now when game starts, we have this animator component, and now we can use this variable. Then inside our update method, we need to create some conditions so we can play our trigger. In our case, I will make sure that when we click with mouse left button, we play that animation. So I type if input dot get mouse button down, and 0 is left button on our mouse and 1 is right button. I'll type 0, and when we click with our mouse, again I call animator dot set trigger. We can also set boolean, set trigger, and type the name of our trigger. In our case it was attack with capital A. Now make sure you type properly this name, because if you write attack with small a, the game won't find that trigger. So now I save and go back to Unity. Now inside Unity we have this script, but it's not attached to our player. So I select player and then click and drag this script. And now if we hit play, and every time when I click with my mouse, it plays attacking animation. Well, something like that.